I'm on the biggest quest of my life in Battlegrounds at the moment. In-game currently, I have gone from Bronze, I think 4, let's go, Bronze 4, and now I'm up to Vibranium 5. This might seem a bit ridiculous to most people that do Battlegrounds on a regular basis, but I have not been doing Battlegrounds on a regular basis. So therefore my victory seeding isn't going to be high, and in fact I'm starting right from the bottom. I'm the perfect example of testing out Kabam's new system. As a lot of you know, the new system was put in by Kabam this season and basically meant that accounts my size would go up against accounts a lot lower in size. Meaning there seems to be a bit of a mix match. There's more context to this as Kabam put, and I just want to read this out before I kind of give you what has been my season. My season currently is on a 99% win streak based on 1 loss, which I actually got today whilst I'm recording this, which was Friday. Previously, until summoners reached Platinum, account strength was one of the primary factors in matchmaking. This resulted in summoners with stronger accounts matching accounts of similar power, causing less powerful accounts to ultimately climb faster and with less difficulty. We felt that this was unintentionally punishing summoners with better rosters, thus hindering them from progressing in the early ranks of the victory track. It also came with the added knock-on effect for less powerful accounts hitting a wall in Platinum when these parameters suddenly changed. Moving forward, account strength has been removed as a matchmaking parameter. The transition to this new system will require a few seasons for ranks to begin normalizing. When we are aware that this will result in growing pains for a short period of time. However, long term, this will allow a more consistent and balanced experience during your victory track climb. In a nutshell, right? Players with lower accounts which are here, they are going to be stomped on by bigger accounts. These bigger accounts need to go off into Gladiator Circuit. That's the biggest thing. Players with bigger accounts need to go into Gladiator Circuit so we don't annoy and suppress smaller accounts from coming up. And you may think that that doesn't sound right, doesn't sound fair. Well, that's the problem, isn't it? Like, a lot of accounts say my size. One of the reasons I stopped playing was I was just hitting a wall in Vibranium. And when you're desperately trying to get things like runestones and other things because you're all bottlenecked together, it can lead to a very unpleasant situation, and accounts that should theoretically be getting, I don't know, these tokens, runestones, and even Deathless Champion pieces just miss out because it's just ridiculous. And you kind of go, well, a lower account can get that because of the way the matchmaking is. I'm not saying that's how it, just think he's given an example. Then there's things that you have to kind of question with it. So my season's been a bit of an interesting one, to say the least. It has gone very, very well, but there's a bigger story that meets the eye. As I said, on a 99% win streak so far, as I get myself up further into things like, Vibranium and my last little push, which will come over the weekend. And it's gone relatively well. I didn't play in any shape or form well, so who was that? Phil did very well and deserved to win. But a lot of the times I've had people either, forfeit, or people that have gone through. I'm not, by the way, singling out anybody or kind of like saying anything negative to these people, because at the end of the day, they must be annoyed that they're facing off against an account like mine. Likewise, it's just, that's what Kabam have put in place for it. Now I have 14 more wins to go before I hit off this Deathless piece, which I'm hoping I get in time. It's always a bit touch and go because I haven't really had a solid challenge, and maybe there's a reason that I've waited 2 weeks before kind of like putting in the effort, which is not great because it does put everything down to the wire. And there are some issues I find with the event mode being a bit grindy, which isn't always great. I've definitely found myself this week abandoning videos and spreadsheets and guides I want to make in place of playing Battlegrounds. And that is, well, you could say it's not necessarily a bad thing or not necessarily a good thing. It's a thing I have to do because I have to do it because I need to get this piece. Otherwise, it'll cost me 5,000 units. And when I'm spending my time like not grinding arena, because obviously I don't spend in the game, but otherwise I'll be kind of like grinding arena to get the units, and I need those units for not July 4th deals, that's already gone, Cyber Weekend deals, and Banquet Event 2024, which I planned this year to put a bit more of effort in, but I haven't had time to start, because so far I think I've surmised that I've synced in about 10 hours into Battlegrounds. Now in 10 hours, I could pick up 10 hours of grind in Arena. I think there might be a good methodology to pick up about 10,000 units or close to it. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but last time I did the sums, I think there's a way and a method I could get 10,000 units. Which then, if I look at the situation now, I maybe, if I didn't do Arena, if I didn't do Battlegrounds, I may be up to about 22,000 units. Or 24,000 units, or whatever I'd be up to. So, you've got to make a decision, haven't you? Like, is it going to be beneficial in the long run or the short term for doing different things? And, of course, I've decided to commit to get that Deathless piece. Like most people, planning around when you can play Battlegrounds is an important thing. If I got a spare hour, I try and do some. And a lot of the time, it will be... I get about 3, maybe at a push 4, depending if there's forfeits, Battlegrounds done. Now, if I win all 4 of those, fantastic. That is brilliant, and that is going to just save so much time. But if I lose some of those, then that causes a bit of a problem again for the grindy aspect. Yes, I'll lose 1 per time. So, and I've seen people just posting stuff on X showing that they've lost multiple times, and if that's in victory track, I mean, it's very different when it comes to like trying to get into Gladiator Circuit, because that's a very skilled place to be. But making those kind of jumps up, that can be quite dire, especially depending on the roster size. So I'm really hoping that when next season comes around, this doesn't feel so much of a... I'm not saying it will feel like a chore, because I would start up a lot higher. But if anybody was starting off like myself right from the very bottom and trying to climb up, you definitely can see the frustration of the grind and the time invested. But as I said, this is a knock-on effect from me. So it's kind of my fault, my problem, for being kind of last and down in bronze. And obviously I needed to work my way up in order to get there. So those 14 plus hours that I'm going to invest in, you know, would it be a lot less when it came to seeding? Yes. Is it encouraging me to play the game mode more consistently ongoing? Yes. Do I want to do that? No, not particularly. But I guess I have to in future. So on a plus side, what I'm doing is I'm contributing data to Kabam so they can see the gain in things. I really hope that I'm able to get that last piece, but at the same time, I want to be away from people that have lower accounts. And that is being in Gladiator Circuit. It may come across as a bit kind of like arrogant to say, oh, I need to be in Gladiator Circuit, but at the same time, the fact is, I need to be away from accounts that are lower than mine, just from a progression standpoint. There are times where I have kind of, I'd say, go up against people that, yes, champion rating wise, we're kind of similar, but only rare occasions for that. Similar rating, but they could be more skilled. And I'm not saying I'm the best player at the game. So anything can really happen. I mean, here's a good example right here against Asher. Like, first round, I won that, lucky to win that one. Second round, I didn't have anything. And that's the thing about strategy. Like, I didn't have a chance to draft any of the champions I wanted to. I don't think an opportunity to draft a science-based champion or something that could actually take on Kindred. And it was kind of it was going to be a losing situation. And then it was a case of like, even on the last round, I think, you know, I got unlucky with some dropped inputs. But at the same time, I think then I got fortunate about who I placed in defense in that particular situation. But I think that was down to like draft. Draft can change anything. You know, there's times when like M's been playing and has been surprised that she's won a fight, but it's just down to the defender making the difference. Any slip up can result in a win, so you got to take them whilst you can. Now, to end off the video, you know, I do personally still find the mode very grindy. Did I prefer something like Arena over Battlegrounds? For the reward side of things, yes. But units, man, it's a very difficult game for free to play if you're limited on time. If you've got loads of time to kind of invest, that's great. If you've got over 14 hours to invest from going from, say, the bottom of bronze to the top of Vibranium, then look, that's that. However, seeding, victory seeding is great. And that is something that I would say if you are But would that have a knock-on effect as well? Yes, great, victory seeding. You return back to like a lower kind of placement. But what kind of situation will the matchmaking be like later on? Will we have the bottlenecking of Vibranium still when we come to Season 20? That will be a telltale sign. I would be interested to see what happens. Of course, what this is meant to do is allow players that are seeding back, that have bigger accounts in Gladiator Circuit, higher. This means that those lower accounts, you'll still be able to make progression to kind of like jump up and kind of get up. But at the same time, if you're slower as a lower account going up, then also the higher accounts will hopefully fight it out and go up. This means that we try and clear the top lot into Gladiator Circuit so the smaller lot can come up. In theory, that's how that could work. But we'll have to see next season. I thought I'd share this video to kind of just showcase what has been going on with myself, how I've been making this kind of like jump up, the experiences, and also the extent of accounts. And by the way, the accounts are not in the same kind of like level. And I'm not saying that it undermines anyone's skill, because I do think that there would have been some people in that I faced off against that could have quite easily beaten me. It's just down to either drafting, yes, skill, and maybe a bit of luck as well, a bit of RNG, and that's something I just want to end on. Like, Battlegrounds is it's a great mode, by the way, and I'm never knocking it because I think it's always great to do new modes. But my word, when it comes to RNG and a competitive mode, nah, it ain't it. It's not like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, when of course you're going up against a live person. Waiting for a champion to throw an SP2 when they're close to an SP3 and the AI does not want to throw it is not good for any type of fair competition in any kind of game mode. And it's definitely something that needs to be worked on. There's a lot of other RNG factors that need to be worked in as well. When a crit lands, how potent that crit is. And again, how fair it is to the overall experience of a competitive mode. But then again, that's why I chose to play Marvel Rivals, and that's why I'm looking forward to the closed beta coming in 2 weeks' time. Check out the other channel in the link in the description if you want to see what happens with that. Great game it is. Anyway, thanks for watching, but I am looking forward to getting myself into Vibranium and pushing a bit further. Come back to see if I do that maybe next week. Anyway, cheers everybody, have a great day. Bye-bye.